Now let's talk about polynomial questions. So the first formula for the polynomial is the multiplication formula. If you have x to the a's power times x to the b's power, so I use this big dot for the multiplication. So this will be x to the a plus b's power. So it's the sum of the exponent. Let's look at example. 3x squared y times negative 4x y cubed. So first we look at the three parts separately. Number part, we have 3 times 4. X part, we have x squared times x. Y part, we have y times y cubed. So there are two missing exponents. X is x to the first power. Y is y to the first power. The number part, 3 times negative 4, sorry, not 4. 3 times negative 4, we got negative 12. For x part, we should use the multiplication formula. So we keep the letter x. It's the sum of the exponent, so it's 2 plus 1. We're talking about this formula, the multiplication formula. Multiply powers means addition of the exponents. Now for the y part, we use the same formula. Same letter y for the base, and then we have 1 plus 3. So the answer is negative 12 x cubed y to the 4th power. So this is the multiplication question. Our second formula is a division formula. If you have x to the a's power divided by x to the b's power. So this is x to the a minus b's power. So it's a subtraction. It's top exponent minus the bottom exponent. So let's look at a very easy example. A lot of students give me the wrong answer for this example. X squared over x to the negative 3's power. If you use this formula, what's the answer? So first, same letter x for the base. And then we have top exponent minus that bottom exponent. Top exponent is 2. Bottom exponent is negative 3. So here, this subtraction is not 2 minus 3. It's 2 minus negative 3. So the answer is x to the 2 plus 3's power, which is 5th. A harder example. 24 x to the 6 y 3rd power divided by negative 6 x cubed y. So like the multiplication example, we write down three parts separately. The number part, the x part, the y part. Again, there is a missing exponent for the y part. 24 divided by negative 6, we got negative 4. Subtraction, top exponent 6 minus bottom exponent 3. For the x part, the y part is 3 top minus bottom 1. So the answer is negative 4 x squared x cubed, y squared. Now let's look at another multiplication question. We will use negative powers, which is a little bit harder. So x to the negative 6 power times x squared. Multiplication is the sum of the exponent. So it's negative 6 plus 2. The answer is x to the negative 4th power. So for the CFE exam, for the Math 5 final, there's no negative power in the answer. So after you calculate, you have to change negative power to positive power by a new formula, or the definition of negative power. So x to the negative nth power is 1 over x to the positive nth power. So what this negative sign means, it means denominator. You put the power in the denominator. So for our example, the answer is 1 on top, x to the positive fourth power in the denominator. One more question. 6x cubed y to the 6 cubed. So this is the power of a power formula. Again, we look at three parts separately. The number part, the x part, and the y part. So this number 3 outside the parentheses means every part inside goes to the third power. So what's the power of power formula? X to the a to the b's power. So this means the multiplication of the exponent, a times b. So if it's multiplication, we add the exponent. If it's division, we subtract. Here we have a power, x to the a's power, and then b's power of x to the a's power. It's a multiplication, a times b. For our example, so first we leave the number part. X to the 3 and then 3 again. So this is x to the 3 times 3's power. Y to the 6 times 3's power. So we have two multiplications, 3 times 3 and 6 times 3. So we got 6 cubed, x to the 9, 3 times 3, y to the 18. So now a lot of students give me the answer 18, x to the 9, y to the 18. So this answer is wrong. Why this answer is wrong? Because 18 is wrong. What is 6 cubed? So here 6 cubed is 6 times 6 times 6. So it's not 18. It is 36 times 6. So which is 216. So the answer is 216 times x to the 9 times y to the 18th. Okay, so you have to pay attention to the number part. Number part is not a multiplication, 6 times 3. You have to use the definition of powers. Another division question. 30x to the 9th plus 8x to the 7th minus 2x to the 5th power divided by negative 2x to the 5th power. So the most important part of this division is the last piece. Negative 2x to the 5th divided by negative 2x to the 5th. A lot of students think they're cancelled. Yes, they are cancelled. But here in division, cancelled means number 1. It's not 0. Okay, it's not 0. So now let's write down 3 divisions separately. The first term on top divided by the denominator plus 8x to the 7 divided by negative 2x to the 5th plus negative 2x to the 5th divided by negative 2x to the 5th. So I just break the numerator to 3 parts. So first part, number negative 15. For the exponent, it's a subtraction, top minus bottom. So we got negative 15 x to the 4th plus the second one, the number part, we got -4. Exponent 7 minus 5. So it's minus 4x squared. The last one, they canceled, which means number 1, positive 1. So they canceled means positive 1, not negative 1. So the answer here is plus 1. So the last term is the most important term. Only the x part canceled. -2 over -2 is positive 1. Now let's look at addition and subtraction of polynomials. I will write down a degree 2 polynomial minus a degree 2 polynomial. 6x squared plus 7x minus 3 minus -2x squared plus 4x minus 5. So we have 3 different type of terms. The first part, degree 2 terms. So we have 2 degree 2 terms, 6x squared and -2x squared. The second part is degree 1 part, including the sign. So it's positive 7x and positive 4x. The last part is degree 0. So it's the number -3 and the number -5. I'm going to use a square for the last part. So we have 3 parts. We have 3 subtractions. For x squared terms, we have 6x squared in the first parentheses minus the -2x squared in the second parentheses. For the x term, we have positive 7x minus positive 4x. For the number part, we have -3 minus -5. So a term has 3 parts. A term has a sign, and a number, and then finally letter. So when we talk about x term, you have to look at 3 parts: the sign, the number, the letter. So this degree 2 term, the sign negative, number 2, power part, letter part, x squared. So what's the answer? For the x squared part, 6 minus -2. So we got 8x squared. For the x part, 7 minus 4. So we got 3x. The number part, -3 minus -5. So this turned to plus 5. -3 plus 5. So we got positive 2. So the answer is 8x squared plus 3x plus 2. The hardest question in your final in the civic exam is distribution question. It's still a multiplication question, but you need to multiply 6 times. It's a degree 1 linear form multiplied by a degree 2 quadratic form. So before we start, you should know there are 6 products. Okay, so I'm going to write down 6 products this way. 3 products on top and then 3 more on the bottom. But for the second 3 products, I'm going to move it to the right a little bit. Later I'll explain why. So now let's look at the first 3 product distribution. So 3x times x squared. 3x times 6x. and 3x times 4. So on top, the first one, we always have 3x. And then we put x squared, the first term in the second parentheses, negative 6x in the second product, and then positive 4 for the third product. Again, so we need a sign, a number, a letter for a term. So you have to use negative 6x for the second product. The other three multiplication, in the second line, we will use negative 5. We will distribute negative 5 to these three terms. Negative 5 times x squared. Negative 5 times negative 6x. Negative 5 times positive 4. X squared, negative 6x, and positive 4. One more time. It's the sign, number, and the letter. So now we will use multiplication rule for each small product. So this is x to the first power times x to the second power. So we got 3x cubed. This is negative 18, x to the 1 plus 1's power. So this is x squared. 3 times 4 is 12, so this is 12x. The bottom three product is easier. Negative 5x squared is 30x, number times number, and negative 20. So now I'm going to add vertically. If you look at the two terms, negative 18x squared and negative 5x squared, they are like terms. They have the same letter part, x squared. So when you add, you can combine like terms to get a single x squared term, negative 23. So similarly for the x term, 12x plus 30x, you got one x term, combine like terms, you got positive 42x. For x cubed, here should be cubed. For the x cubed and the number part, we only have a single term, so you just bring them down. So the answer is 3x cubed minus 23x squared plus 42x minus 20. Okay, so I'm going to write down the structure again. You need 6 products. Finally, we got 4 answers, 4 term answers. 6 products, 3 on top. And then move a little bit to get another 3 product. After you put these 6 products, multiply them, and then you add to combine like terms. So you will get 4 terms answer. Here is the x cubed. These two, they are x squared terms. The next two, they are x terms, and then there's a number in the end. So 6 products give us a 4 term answer.